Okay, you're here. So that means you've got this nagging little suspicion that you might be fucking up your fits. Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Either way, I have made all 10 of the mistakes I'm about to talk about, and probably a lot more besides. Let's dive in and let's fix them together. Mistake number one, wearing clothes that don't fit properly. And this is something I know a lot about. I recently lost some weight and now most of my jeans are a size too big. But because they're my favorites, I've tried holding on to all of them, which is a huge mistake. I mean, I am using belts to keep them up. That means the button is dropping down the front. It looks completely ridiculous and it's messing up the fit totally. On the flip side, I've also been the guy squeezing myself into clothes that are just too small. Just because you can button something up, it doesn't mean that you should. Everyone knows it's too small and you're just going to be miserable the entire time. And lastly, there's oversized clothing. If you want an oversized look, don't buy 3 sizes up. It doesn't work like that. Oversized pieces are designed to drape and fall in a certain way. And you can always tell when someone's just wearing clothes that are too big. Now, how to fix it? You've got to start by knowing your measurements. And here are the 6 most essential ones to get you started. Your chest measurement. Measure around the fullest part of your chest. Your shoulder width, across the back from one shoulder seam to the other. Your sleeve length, center of the back of your neck across the shoulder and down the wrist. Pant waist, around where you wear your trousers. Your inseam, the crotch seam to the ankle. And your height. This is essential for proportions and tailoring. And keep it simple. If you get these right, your fit game will improve immediately. Okay, mistake number 2. And this comes with a little story. I was on a date once. It was a terrible date, by the way. I never saw her again. But she did give me the best piece of advice that anyone has ever given me. She said, women always look at your shoes. And at the time, I was wearing a scabby pair of €40 Vans. And she was right. Bad shoes can kill an outfit and a date. Some of the common mistakes. Dirty, scuffed sneakers. Running shoes with jeans, unless it is intentionally done and intentionally done very, very well. White leather sneakers that look good for about 2 steps and then are terrible after 5 steps. And then simply just wearing the wrong shoes to the wrong occasion. But how do you fix it? Pretty simple. Invest in some versatile staples. A pair of good leather boots, something along the sort of workwear or workwear adjacent vibe. Then you're going to want a pair of dressier shoes, derbies or the like. Pair of decent canvas kicks, nothing crazy, but make sure they're bonded to the upper so you can throw them in the washing machine and throw them in the washing machine often. The trainers, that is, not the boots. Bonus points if the boots and shoes are polished, clean and in a good condition. Mistake number 3, and that is neglecting your grooming and maintenance. And just looking at myself in the screen right now, that's something I'm guilty of. But my barber's out of town, so that's my excuse. There's a reason I'm wearing the cap all the time. And it's not just my ridiculously receding hairline. Anyway, okay, mistake number 3. You could be wearing a suit that costs more than my rent, but if your hair's a mess or your shirt's wrinkled and stained, then it's over. And the common offenses are, as I said, stained and wrinkled clothing or missing buttons, unintentional stubble. I'm not too sure if designer stubble is still a thing, but anyway, dirty nails or long fingernails, hair where it shouldn't be, BO or bad breath. Okay, if you've identified any of those, how do we fix them? You build a good relationship with a great barber. I have built my relationship over years with my barber and I will only go to him unless I'm really stuck. Then you want to get yourself some quality grooming tools such as nail trimmers, clippers, and just general nail care stuff. Learn to iron your clothes. It's simple. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there. And also learn to sew on buttons. And then use Nude, N-U-U-D deodorant. Trust me on this one. It's that good. Then you've got mistake number 4, ignoring the occasion. You've probably heard something similar to this. Why is Steve wearing a hoodie at this wedding? Now, we all know Steve, and Steve is a dick. Someone should tell Steve that different events call for different styles, and you should know your dress code. The rule for this is just simply dress for the occasion. If you're unsure, Google the dress code or ask someone. Simple. It's always better to be slightly overdressed than way underdressed.
Okay, now Chanel, you're in desperate need of Chanel.
And if you don't own the right clothes, there's zero shame in just renting them. And that brings us nicely on to mistake number 5. Overloading on trends. Now, if you catch the trend bug, it's kind of like getting herpes. You will always and forever get that itch. The solution? Stick to timeless pieces that reflect your style. And yeah, if you got it, well, sprinkle in one or two trends to keep things fresh, and inform all prospective partners. Mistake number 6, poor layering. Look, layering is tricky, and I'm still figuring it out myself. But here's what I know doesn't work and what does. So the common issues I find with layering is outerwear stretched over 20 layers of more outerwear, mismatched textures or clashing patterns, fucked up proportions, and mismatched colors. And how to fix it? Well, the guys that I see doing it well, doing it really, really well, have mastered that art of balance. They layer the lighter fabrics under the heavier ones. That makes sense. And in fact, just make sure that everything makes practical sense. Good layering should feel cohesive, like a story, but for your clothes. Mistake number 7, not paying attention to your proportions. This is something that is relatively new to me, I must admit, but I've started dressing for my proportions, and it is a total game changer. It matters because balance is key, and most guys look better with 2/3 of the fit on the bottom, so your pants, and 1/3 on top. And it's quite an easy fix. It's just you have to wear your pants on your natural waist and not your hips, and then tuck in your shirt or tee. It creates cleaner lines and makes you look more put together. Mistake number 8, ignoring seasonal dressing. And this is something I have been very, very guilty of. I used to wear heavy raw denims and Red Wings in 40-degree heat. And guess what? I looked ridiculous, I felt worse, and I was constantly dehydrated. But why does this matter? Well, being dehydrated is really not good for you. But anyway, seasonal fabrics and colors enhance your comfort and therefore your style. You're not going to freeze to death, you won't die of dehydration, and you're not going to look like an idiot. All those things are pretty important. And to fix it, well, think thicker in winter, thinner in summer, think wool in winter, linen in summer. Just rotate your wardrobe seasonally, and don't be afraid of shorts. Just be sensible about the whole thing. Although everybody should be afraid of me in shorts. I'm afraid of me in shorts. I'm afraid of my legs. And so should you be. You should probably be more afraid of me out of shorts. Okay, we're almost there. Mistake number 9. Following the wrong style role models. You get another little anecdote from me here. Sometimes I do or I did a little bit of personal styling. It's not a regular gig, but it happens. A friend of mine who is a legitimate lifestyle coach asked me to help a guy with his wardrobe. He was nice. He was a shy guy, clearly working on himself, which I respect. And when I asked him about his style goals, he said Russell Brand and Johnny Depp. And that's when I knew we weren't really on the same page. The way I always approach these things is this. I focus on fits that work with your body type, your personality, and your lifestyle. Pieces that will build a solid, practical wardrobe, not a costume for Halloween. Look, Johnny Depp and Russell Brand, they have incredible style for them. But dressing like them doesn't work for the vast majority of people, and it certainly wouldn't have worked on this guy. And you fix it by simply finding role models that align with your build and style preferences and your lifestyle. And be honest with yourself and don't try to cosplay as someone else. And then to finish this all off, mistake number 10, forgetting confidence. Here's the truth. You could wear a potato sack, but if you own it with confidence and you look intentional, you'll look great. And this is essential because style, at the end of the day, is an extension of how you feel about yourself.
When you put on something that you really like, you feel like you are that person or the person you want to be.
Clothes don't wear you, you wear them. But more often than not, I see it the other way around. And to fix it, it might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but you do need a little discomfort. I think that is essential for growth in anything you do in life. Staying in your comfort zone just leads to stagnation. I've learned to embrace a slight bit of discomfort when it comes to my style, and that in turn turns that into confidence. And then a final little anecdote just to illustrate the point here. Recently, I wore this jacket. It's out there on the very, very edge of my discomfort zone. Then I was on the way to lunch, and a girl who had great style, incidentally, she took the time to come up to me on the street and just simply said, "Great jacket." That moment confirmed stepping outside your comfort zone is always worth it. Oh, and it is always worth it to compliment someone's style. 99.99999% of the time, if you've noticed their style and you're vibing with it, then that person has put some serious thought into the fit and wants nothing more than to be complimented on it.